If somebody who is white in a position of power does not like gays, you can guarantee the blacks are right after that. Just because I'm pro-black does not mean that I'm anti-white. YouTube, what's poppin', baby? It's your favorite antisocial extrovert. It is your favorite awkward black boy, Blake Mother Loving Dupree, back at it again with a pop culture recap on here of the Diary of Dupree, BQC, Black Queer Classroom, and it's just where we come. We pop our ish, we talk our mess, we stay respectful as much as we can about the people we talk about, but we gonna keep it real as well. So make sure if you're new to my channel, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. I have a single coming out, if not this month, next month. I know I told y'all October 25th, but to be honest with y'all, I don't know.
I don't have it with me.
I don't know. I ain't got it. But I definitely have some performances coming up, so just follow me on social media, tap in with your boy. I do all type things. And you know who's been doing all type things negatively? Motherfucking Diddy. Like, play the clip.
When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
Oh, okay. Here, Lala.
Okay.
So if you just saw that, you could tell everybody at that table already knew what Diddy had been up to, especially Martha Stewart ass. Like, Martha Stewart said, oh, okay, bitch, whatever. Like, everybody in the industry already knew what Diddy was up to. And that is what's crazy. Like, if you think the R. Kelly whistleblower was stacked to the max, just imagine the amount of, like, Diddy concubines that about to go down with his ass too. Because I really do think Diddy is just the beginning of a long list of bitches who enabled him and enabled a lot more men and women in much higher positions of power than Diddy. He's just the icing on a very large piece of the motherfucking cake. And you know what? I say let them all come down. Bring them all down. You're out of here.
Gonna walk over there? You're out of it.
I really don't see how, if the whole industry knew, I just would say shame on the industry. Because, like, if all y'all knew and nobody said nothing about it, and when people did say stuff about it, they were labeled crazy. It's crazy. Like, the whole industry was gaslighting us for years because they all knew. Usher knew, Lala knew, Snoop knew, and Martha definitely knew. And Martha and Lala was clearly not fucking with Diddy being at that table at that clip. And it's just so crazy. All these resurfaced clips. It's like, if you want to hide something, put it directly in the public's faces, because that's the only way that that we not gonna believe you. Like, think about it. Age ain't nothing but a number. Throwing down ain't nothing but a thing. Baby Girl was like a kid singing that. And it was written by the Pied Piper himself. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy the times we live in it. And I honestly do think, like, the No Diddy jokes are so tired, because y'all don't make No Diddy jokes because he was a fucking demon in the industry, quite literally ripping apart motherfuckers any way he could find. Y'all make No Diddy jokes because he is now being accused of being a homosexual man. And I feel like when people say no Diddy, no zest, sassy, like, these are all modern day homophobic terms that in 10 years we'll be like, damn, she really said no Diddy on a podcast. And like, wow, that would not fly in today's standards 10 years from now. Kind of like how we see people who say the F word on, like, TV shows like Sex and the City, and, you know, and how back then it was an acceptable term. But like 10, 15 years later, we now realize, like, the root of that word is homophobia. And I feel like these modern day terms like no Diddy, zesty, sassy, you're a girl, be a man, those are all rooted in homophobia. And I just want y'all to really take a deep dive within yourselves, because everybody here who watching, y'all know somebody who gay, and you probably care about that person to a certain extent. So every time you say no Diddy, just know you kind of shitting and spitting on the people, on the men and the women who were abused by this man for years, for days, for hours. If any abuse took place, it's not okay. And you kind of like making a mockery of their trauma and making a mockery of their pain. So I really just don't understand how this whole Diddy phenomenon has become a joke, especially within the Black community, because we all know we sexualize our young boys, especially our young boys, way too early. And we all know a young Black boy who lost their virginity way too early was probably a victim of SA at a very early age by an older woman, if not an older man. And we sweep the shit under the rug, and we victim blame, and we gaslight, and we act like it's cool. And the cycle will continue to the next generation because we're coming up with dumbass terms like no Diddy. And it's no shade. And since we on the topic of Black men, I just want y'all to stop being mad at Obama for saying what everybody's been trying to tell y'all for years. Like, y'all will be quicker to vote for a white man than y'all are quicker to vote for Black women, because you cannot see yourselves ever being submissive to a Black woman because y'all wasn't raised right. As crazy as some of y'all was raised right, but you hate yourselves so much. And I partly can't blame you, because a lot of what you believe today were seeds planted to you as children, which include a lot of anti-Blackness, a lot of misogynistic tendencies, a lot of colorism, a lot of texturism. So, of course, I'm not surprised when Obama calls out the niggas, saying that y'all niggas do not support your women. Like, this is living testimony that what Malcolm X said all those years ago was true. The Black woman is the most unprotected species. And don't even get me started on the Black trans women. He is a Black man himself. He wasn't insulting Black men when he said that you all are not voting at all. And we all know a vote not for Kamala is a vote for the other party, period. If you think voting green, honestly, at this point in time, is going to save us, it's not. And I understand less of two evils is still evil. But bitch, if you tell me, hey girl, either you can die by fire in a gunshot wound, or you could just die by a gunshot wound, what you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna vote for the gunshot wound, straight to the head, get me in, get me out. You know what I'm saying? So I really just don't get a lot of Black men's logic. And it's both on the gay and straight side. It's just Black men in general. We don't vote. We don't go to the doctor like that. We don't try to spread our education like women do. Because like when a woman gets educated, she's gonna spread that knowledge to not only her sisters, her nieces, her aunties, her mothers. She's definitely gonna spread that knowledge to her uncles, her fathers, her brothers, her male cousins. That's why a Black woman with an education kind of intimidates us, I guess, because it's so hard for a lot of Black men to see a Black woman in power. Because growing up, if you didn't see it outside of your mother, who struggled, obviously, if you were a single mother, even if you were a married mother, women just struggle in general because we live in a misogynistic community, in a misogynistic country. It's kind of hard for you to be submissive to that. But for me, it's like I grew up with nothing but powerful women in my life. And so I have no issue supporting a powerful woman. Ain't nothing like a powerful, educated Black woman, goddammit. And the fact that we all believed for years that Kamala sent thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Black men to jail, speaks to the propaganda that was against her from the minute that she gained any really prominent power within the world of politics. And so I just want to encourage the Black men who are watching to do your own research, do your own education, really take a look at the pros and cons of voting red or blue, and see how many of those pros and cons for red favor to you, and see how many of those pros and cons favor to you in the blue. Because honestly, Kamala just came out and listed a whole bunch of things that she's going to do for not only just all people, but specifically for men of color, like loan forgiveness, business loans that are going to be forgiven, providing rent caps. Like, everybody in this bitch is struggling to pay their rent. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking at apartments every single fucking day, and I'm not noticing any change. It's starting to just be a blend of all of the same. It don't matter if you're in the suburbs now, no matter if you're in the city, it don't matter. Rent is going to be $1,000 minimum, no matter where you at. And I just think $1,000, honestly, no shade, for anything higher, anything lower than a one bedroom is crazy work. Like, I remember in 2019, I never forget, I went to a homegirl's party in fucking Bronzeville, right off of Lakeshore Drive, y'all. She had a 2-bedroom apartment in the, I believe, Prairie Shores for $500 a month. 2-bedroom apartment, downtown Chicago, or on the border of downtown Chicago, for $500 a month. Bitch, this was 2019. This was not that long ago. So I'm like, where do we get to in a point in our economic society where inflation has whooped us only less than 10 years? 2019 was what, 5 years ago, and motherfuckers was affording a downtown lifestyle in a predominantly Black middle class neighborhood for $500 a month for a 2-bedroom. You will never find that anymore. unless we put some policies in place to stop these motherfucking rent hikes. Because, like, I understand landlords are feeling the effects of inflation, but you have to also be reasonable. You going up on rent every 6 months in a year, and then if your tenant breaks the lease because they can't afford it, they're still owed that rent. So you're gonna make money either way it goes. It's crazy. And Kamala Harris is going to be put in a position of power if we get out and vote to stop these type of situations, to really help out the people. But she is making policies for Black men and Black women. Obviously, y'all, she can't just say, I'm making policy strictly for Black men and Black women. She has to play her cards right, because she knows that she is a woman of color, and she knows that anytime Black people look out for themselves, they are deemed anti everything else. Just because I'm pro-Black does not mean that I'm anti-white. So she knows the rhetoric and the politic that she has to adhere to put policies in place that we all know, if we do the research, cater to us, but she can't say out loud, at least not yet, until she earns that presidency. It's like she's still in the candidate run. Like, she's still running to become president, and it's not going to be an easy race for either party. So they have to play their cards right on the rhetoric that they choose to talk about, on the words that they say, on how they choose to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will never agree with what is happening in overseas with P and I, and that was a shame on the entire country. But I guarantee you, motherfucking Donald Trump would have done the same, if not worse. Just saying. Like, he just spent millions of dollars to fund anti-trans ads. Millions of dollars to fund anti-trans ads. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. If a motherfucker don't like gay people, the next bitch on the list is the niggas. Period. I'm just gonna keep it so a G, so a buck. If somebody who is white in a position of power does not like gays, you can guarantee the blacks are right after that. And I'm just keeping it so real with you. I'm just keeping it so real with you. So that was enough of my politic talk, enough of my politic game. I want to kind of talk about Angel Reese going on a podcast and saying like, hey, like, bitch, my rent, $8,000. And when I heard that, I'm like, girl, you live in Cook County. I live in Cook County. Ain't a damn place ever. I'm sorry. There's nowhere in Cook County I can see myself paying $8,000 for in rent. Fucking rent. Like, that is crazy to me. But she said, like, my rent, $8,000, and the WNBA paychecks, they not getting that. They not cutting that. Which, you know what? No shade. I'm not surprised. I don't even think, like, the lowest paid NBA player could afford $8,000 rent. But Angel Reese is that girl, and I'm pretty sure her money is stacked like that. So just because she was saying like the WNBA paychecks not covering it like that, don't mean that she ain't got it like that. Because she stayed with a sponsorship, she stayed with a brand deal. I'm really surprised. Like, I did not see her at like New York Fashion Week, or maybe she was, because that girl is so fucking gorgeous to me. Like, if she want to stop being a basketball player, she could definitely model, because she's given from head to toe, and I just love her aesthetic. It's like a soft girl, but like I'm a boss bitch at the same time. Barbie aesthetic. Like, she is somebody I would want my little sisters to look up to as far as what they do for themselves in their respective careers. But $8,000 rent, I'm like, where do you live, bitch? Because I cannot see myself paying $8,000 for rent in anything that is not a house with a few acres. So if you paying $8,000 anywhere downtown and that motherfucker is a condo and not a house, you getting finessed. You got to be getting finessed, because what the fuck? What? There is nothing you could put in amenities in a condo in location that is worth $8,000 in rent. Like, bitch, when I walk in, I better be walking into a Beyonce serenade from her ass herself anytime that I desire. Rose petals and bubble baths once a day. Pouring design showers. Filet mignon waiting for me on the counter. Rice and salmon for lunch before I go to work. And still the finest steel cut oats for rolled oats in the morning. Plus any bitch, any nigga I desire in my bed waiting for me. Not bitch, because I'm gay. But y'all know what I'm saying? Like, I just could not see what could you be paying for if it's not a mansion and $8,000 rent. No shade. I'm like, girl, get a roommate or something, because if y'all spent that $4,000 in rent for a condo, if it's a couple rooms, I could see that, depending on where you stand in Chicago, because I'm pretty sure she stayed downtown. But I'm just like, girl, $8,000 is a key. Anoki Kamora Simmons' daughter, who has like a bachelor's, if I'm not mistaken, from Harvard or Howard. Either way, both prestigious institutions. She decided to do modeling and follow in her mom's footsteps. And now she's saying like, oh, I'm stepping down. Like it ain't really my tea, not really my vibe. I get sick of going across the world and being called ugly. And I'm just like, yeah, nepotism can only save y'all so much, because these casting directors, especially for modeling agencies and shows and designer houses, are cutthroat. And what's crazy is if you take the cutthroat casting director and the model, they're not seeing them. The casting director is not eating. They don't live up to the same terms and standards that they put on these poor innocent models just trying to make a name for themselves. And I applaud Anoki, and forgive me if I'm saying her name wrong, for like being transparent about the industry and knowing that even for nepo babies, it's not an easy industry to break into. Like, as somebody who tried to model before I got these, y'all heard that clap, thick thighs, it was so hard on me. Like, I gave up on that shit so fast, because there's really no winning. Like, you go into that at these modeling houses, you face so much rejection, you become insecure about yourself, and nobody is an ugly bitch in my eyes. Like, to be beautiful is subjective, to be ugly is subjective, but to be labeled ugly and too fat, like, I never forget a casting director told me I had titties and I was only like 150 pounds. I'm just like, I feel like the world is going through another shift where they're becoming more conservative overall in pop culture. Being skinny, Ozempic and Wegovy is in, curves are out, being black and proud is out, being openly gay is out. Like, we're going back to the old ways, and I really don't know how to stop that, because the old ways were never okay. Honestly, there's never been a time in America where things were generally okay within pop culture and media, but I'm definitely seeing a return of like some old beliefs, and it makes me think, like, was inclusivity a fad? Was body positivity a fad? Was being proud about where you come from if you're not white a fad? And it just makes me think, like, is this industry for me? Because if the nepo babies with all of the resources and all of the connections are struggling, I mean, not even finding a bit of work, struggling to find the smallest lane for themselves, what is it going to mean for a regular boy from the Chicagoland area with titties, curves, ass, and a lot of talent? It's scary. It's really scary when you think about it. It is really scary when you think about it. And it's the same with every other industry within the acting pool. Theater, they recast the same black people from Broadway to regional. It's the same way with a lot of TV and film. It's very cliquish. And even in TV and film, you get typecast like that. If you play one gay role, they want you to play gay 20 years down the line. And we all know there's not a lot of gay roles. And it's not like gay people can't play straight. It's just they're often not given the opportunity to, if the world knows them as an openly gay person. And that's a big contrast, because when you're straight, people want you to play gay. They want you to play straight. There's a larger pool of roles because they can see you as such. And that's why I really love Coleman Domingo, because he's really ripped a lot of the restraints that black, especially dark-skinned black men who are openly gay, have within the acting industry, because oftentimes they only want you to play a certain type of role. And I digress, but I close out to say, like, the industry is shifting and it's not looking good. The world is shifting and it's not looking good. But for me, somebody who is aspiring to be in the industry, somebody who is in the industry, no shade, no tea, shit is getting scary. But I just wanted to come up here, get y'all some BQC at the Diary of Dupree. Make sure you look in the mirror and tell yourself, yeah, I am that, because you've been that, whatever that is for you. Peace and blessings, baby. I love y'all deep, man.
About you, bitch. Worry about you.
I don't give a fuck about you.